Welcome, everyone. This is the Embodied Leadership Summer 2020 onboarding training, and we're so excited to be with all of you. This is going to be a wonderful little overview of the journey of the course and the container that we create for the course so that we can get right to work on Monday morning when it's time, and everybody can have a really more of an in-depth overview of all of the parts of this course so that by the time we get together, we're just ready to dive right in. And I'm Tirza Hollenhorst, and I am the co-founder here. And what I really have gotten out of this course over the years is a deep sense of grounding in my own life, and a strong confidence that anything I want to bring into my life, I can do so through daily, small, measured actions over time. Maya, that's to you.
Thank you, Tirza. My name is Maya Zuckerman, and I have the honor to be another co-founder of Embodied Leadership from the inception with Tirza as lead. And everything that Tirza just said, ditto, and a sense of container and working with people I love. And also managed to write a sci-fi book. Not only managed to write it, managed to find a literary agent, and now in the journey of hopefully becoming a published author, all with incremental movements on a daily basis. And there's all these other things that this program has enabled me to achieve because it has community, container, support and love, and just this trust in myself that I can do it. And over to you, Sophia.
My name is Sofia Nazareti, and I have the pleasure of collaborating with Maya and Tirza on developing, building, and unfolding the program to its potential, to its depth. I personally have discovered how the community container unlocks my intelligence, and so it does for others. And this season, and in general, I am focused on contributing to space for exploration, for self-contact, clarity, integration, and strengthening of being.
So we start all of our trainings with a set of agreements, and we're going to go through them today so that when we agree to them together on Monday, they'll be clear for you. So we always agree to be on time. Our container starts at 8:30 in the morning on Monday morning, every Monday. And when we're nice and on time, we can start right away. We do keep track of who's there, and we want everybody to be there. So we'll give a few minutes if we know we're waiting for people. But it's really, really helpful if we have a nice, crisp beginning. And so we agree to be on time. We agree to be curious and listen. So the course is evolutionary, things change. We will present things that not everybody is going to agree with. And so what we're asking is that you're curious about things, and you're curious what we have to offer and what other people have to offer. And if it's not for you, you can listen and then move right on. We cover a lot of ground in the course, so we're not going to stick with any one idea or theme for too long. We agree to be treated like leaders. So we're assuming that if you're coming into this container, you're coming in for growth. And that means you're ready to learn about your blind spots and areas that you don't see. And so in that, there's a willingness to accept mirroring and to be asked questions and to be in a container of self-inquiry. We ask that people communicate if they're going to miss a session, because we're really looking for everyone and we want to bring everyone along on the journey. If you're going to miss a session, you'll have a buddy pair and a group lead, and either of those are great people, or myself, Maya or Sophia, to let know that you're not coming. You'll have a buddy this season and also a small group, and we'll be looking to check in with both of those every week. We hold confidentiality in this course. We share really deeply. Things come up that are people's most private and tender experiences. And so while you are absolutely free to speak about your own experiences in the course to others, we really ask that you hold the things that other people share confidential, so that we all feel really comfortable and safe in being vulnerable and being honest and being held in whatever is true and tender for us. And then because this is a Zoom call, we've been that way since the beginning. We really encourage everyone to just be aware of their background noise and use that chat box. We get everybody's voices on the line. We can't wait to have your voices on the line, but we want them there when we plan to have them there. And just also notice if you're moving around, you can shut off your video, and it creates a little more clarity in the whole room for everyone. So we'll review these for the first couple weeks, but it's really helpful to just go through them today. So as a trio, Sophia and Maya and I really come with a very strong intention. We're really here for your growth, and we see that coming in a number of areas. We're looking for people to really consciously develop their identity, who they are, to begin to align their actions and really their entire embodiment with their identity. We are developing really rigorous foundations of self-care, and we have foundational habits that are the basis that we see as necessary to really just step into the world as a powerful embodied leader. We really are a little bit achievement focused. Maybe me, I'm a little achievement focused. I like to see people actually set their visions and achieve them. What those visions look like are absolutely determined by you and where you're at and what's appropriate for you in your life. But we will be encouraging you daily, weekly to actually take the actions to bring your visions into the world. We want to create a container of fierce support. Making change, developing habits, stepping out into something new is not easy. And having that container of community that really not just has your back, but has your sides, has your vision, has your best intentions, sees you and is ready to just step right alongside you is an incredible resource. This past season, we really saw people create amazing, amazing things that would not have been possible without that container. And we're really looking to all learn how to take ourselves seriously and really honor our time and our life force, but really approach this life with levity and joy. And so increasingly, we're looking for ways to weave into the course and into our lives moments of celebration and appreciation. Maya or Sophia, you want to add anything?
I don't understand.
Really, it's a journey, and we'll talk a little bit about it in a second. That this is a journey. It's not we got to achieve this, or else. It's more the journey. Well, it opens ourselves up to how we can actually be more embodied ourselves. So we'll talk about it in a second as well.
So this is a 13-week course. That's a long time. Lots of people do things in much shorter periods of time, but we find that real change and really developing new habits takes time. In fact, it often takes more than a season. And that creation, and to create something new, we need a container. And so that having that held container actually enables us to be deeply creative and to take the risks necessary to achieve something new and create something new. And that great harvests come from careful pruning. So if you've ever tended roses or fruit trees, you know that the most beautiful roses and the best fruit come from trees that are well pruned. And that's simply by devoting our energy into the things that really matter to us, we actually get more harvest and a better harvest. And so part of what we also do in this course is look at where our attention, our time, and our energy is going that isn't into the areas where we most want to create. This is the system that we use, and Before Maya goes through all of this, I want to share with you a bit about the whole container that we have created in order to go on this journey together. So you're not expected to read this. I just want you to know that we have a whole document about all of the pieces of the program. So the program's based first around a Monday call. We meet every Monday at 8:30 on Zoom, literally every Monday. We're there every single week of the year, but we run in 4 seasons. And so there's 13-week seasons that just keep us moving through the year. Within the program, there will be however many are in this summer cohort, but we'll be divided up into small groups. And each group will have a lead, somebody who's been with us for several seasons and has developed the capacity to support others in the program. And those small groups will meet both Mondays in the program, but then you'll also find one other time to check in throughout the week. Those don't need to be big, long calls, but we do have them. You'll also this season get a buddy pair, and that's someone for you to have just whatever level of accountability is meaningful for you. It could just be a texting. If you guys choose to have another check-in call, you can, but someone else to just like be your like intimate partner through this whole journey. We have a platform that runs all of this called Circles. It's a little like Facebook, but without all the added distraction. And so probably all you'll see on Circles is the Embodied Leadership Program, but the community is pretty robust there. And especially as we add a whole second season of people, it will grow. And it's an amazing place for us to see each other and encourage each other and to share our little bits of things as they begin to grow. And then additionally, Sophia sometimes does these deep dives on Thursdays to explore things that come up during the session with greater depth and at a level that we simply don't have time for in the Monday sessions. So probably for maybe 6 times throughout the season, we'll have these additional courses. I also tend to do a couple extra breakouts on identity, which Maya will talk more about in the Vamash system. Maya, you want to take it?
Yeah, and I'm just gonna, as I dovetail into Vamash, just talk a little bit about why we start in what some might consider weird times of the year, and actually we start with the equinox and the solstice every time. So we actually are working with the real natural systems and natural seasons, and really starting our June 22nd starts basically at solstice. So this is our summer solstice beginning, and we end in the fall equinox. And through this journey to actually, and I can even bring it through my own experience where one of the identities I worked through as we're developing the Vamash system was I really wanted to become a writer, but I didn't know how to even become a writer. Like I knew I needed to write, but how, what? But what I declared first is my identity as a writer. I had a vision of writing a book, and then I declared myself as a writer, and that was my identity. And through the system of Vamash, I actually built myself the system for writing, which was how I wrote my first book, which was a habit. It was 25 minutes a day. There were all these other things that I built around that. And of course, there were obstacles, as any writer knows, writer's block, etc., and how to actually work through them. And of course, a lot of them were my personal obstacles. And then how I measured was, specifically when I was starting just to write, were minutes and words. So I actually went through this journey a few times. I mean, I go with it every season, but really deeply a few times when I was writing my book through this program. And the system will enable you to, and again, writing is a very nice archetype of an identity, but to find and define your identity that you're aspiring to, and then over time, build the system to actually support that identity. And the amazing thing that happens between who you are in the beginning, declaring that identity, and the progress towards that aspirational identity is quite amazing. We've seen it again and again. And really we call it the embodied leadership journey, this VMASH system. So this is a system we're going to take you through our program, but there's going to be other additions to this. There's going to be a lot of content that's going to support your work, and also the groups and the buddies help you stay on track as you're moving forward with this incremental betterment towards the aspired self.
Thank you, Maya. Yeah, what Maya was alluding to in the additions is that while this system repeats itself every season, we also have every week a lesson, and those lessons are set out in an annual curriculum that each season has its own specific focus. And so each season, while it comes through the same framework, they're all different because the seasons are different. And so in summer, we really look at like recreation and recreate. And so this is really the season where we're looking to kind of loosen up those rules that have bound us in the past, and the ideas about who we are and who we need to be that we've held to in the past, and kind of shake those systems a little bit and look at ourselves from another angle, or maybe in a different hat, and just rediscover who we are and who we can be. This summer season, it feels especially important, as for all of us, the life that we were living just last winter is really no longer applicable. We're now in this whole new time. And so we get to find a new self in this new time. So Sophia often leads our groundings because she's phenomenal. And so Sophia, I'd like to invite you to bring us through a vision grounding. For those of you listening to this in the recording, this will be a wonderful time for you to just kind of go within, and then we'll leave you with the exercise that you'll create before we get together on Monday. Sophia, over to you.
Welcome to this wonderful time of reflection. When we invite reflection, we must first create the appropriate space for clarity to come into our experience, for us to see details that are otherwise hidden by the busyness of our days and our minds. So I invite you to find your seat or ground or bed, however you find yourself, and just feel the surface that's supporting you and the weight of your body. Begin to descend into actually being in your body. Maybe find your breath. And really find yourself here at this moment. If you were to locate yourself on the map, this is where you are at now. In a sense, the past is constantly flowing away and the future is constantly coming in. To really attune to our own future, our personal thread, our personal meaning, our personal calling, we must learn to extend our attention to listen. To listen like we listen when we go into a forest or to the ocean, to any place that's nurturing, that's spacious, and we almost unintentionally come into that listening space. We begin to feel, we begin to sense, we begin to notice. So as you find yourself here, having created this space, similar to those nourishing spaces in nature, see if you can tune in to what is calling you. You probably are already aware to some degree what has been calling you, what has brought you joy consistently, what has opened your heart or your mind, what feels like the next step into who you truly are, even if you don't know fully who you are and you can't name it. There is definitely a kind of a guidance that's operating in all of us, and there is always some kind of a beacon, even if it's not apparent. If we listen in, likely we will hear something. What feels the appropriate direction for our expression, for our becoming, for our truth, for the way we want to move in the world we want to serve. What really feels like this is my path, this is my calling. The future, even though it is always calling us because it is always coming into our experience, its voice is often subtle. And so this grounding is offered to create the space where we can listen. And it also offers an exercise that you can later repeat and choose times for yourself and sit again and listen. And as you listen again and again, the truth begins to speak, the heart begins to speak. The direction reveals itself and things begin to make sense, fall into their places. And we get an inkling of what is our next step in our dance. Feel your body. Feel you are here. And whatever appears to you during this grounding, take a moment and record it on a piece of paper. And if nothing, then let the question be open in your mind as a background open listening that you take home with you. And slowly coming out of the silence, find your breath. And tune into gratitude for being interested in your own being, in your own truth, in your own joy and expression.
Thank you, Sophia. Thank you, everyone, for joining and for coming along for the journey with Sophia. So, a really phenomenal exercise that we did at the beginning of spring, and I highly recommend, is after this, after you've had maybe even another moment to think about vision, to actually connect to yourself in 2 years. Connect to your future self who's, already, finally on the other side of this current moment in history and in a new reality, and make a video for yourself. And what would you, from that future place, tell yourself? And just shoot it selfie style. Don't think too hard. Don't worry about the lighting. It's not about getting it perfect. It is about that incredible act of confirming wisdom to yourself and well wishes. And think about really connecting from your the most well-wishing place that you can. That's the homework. And so just to close out from today, attached to this video will be the link to register with a discount code that is our offer to you. This is your sign to recreate yourself in summer 2020. We really enjoy everyone who joins us, and I just want to welcome everyone who's watching this to reach out. Come to the first 2 classes. We always make them available and open so that you can get a taste for this incredible community and what it really feels like to be supported in creating and stepping into your vision, because we know that once you are part of that, you'll want to stay. So come home, come to your community, join us on the summer solstice on Monday the 22nd at 8:30. The details are available. They'll be attached to this video. And we can't wait to meet you and to learn what you're creating this summer. Maya or Sophia, would you like to add anything?
I think it was perfect. But yeah, it is, this is about community. This is about seeing what is possible when people come together, support each other with love, with brilliance, with duocracy. They do things, and they're all supported to shine the biggest light on their potential self and to be held and to be seen by others. And we've seen it time and time again. This work works, and it's amazing. And it is about putting in the hard work and the time, but it's what we get to harvest is just phenomenal when we get to do it together.
And a lot of it is dynamic and stemming from the particular group that forms each season. The result and the outcome and the journey is the cumulative total of everything that each person brings, and that's what makes for the magic and unique delight each season. It's very different each time.
Thank you, everybody.